As you guys know, today's video is a review on Stanford and Anthony. When we first meet Stanford, he is an affable man who is gay and a friend of Carrie Bradshaw. He is out to lunch with her, telling Carrie not to mess around with her ex Kurt, who has broken her heart countless times. However, Carrie, being Carrie, doesn't heed his warning and goes on to play body twister with Kurt. At some point we get to meet Stanford again, for him to have a few arcs to his storyline. He tries to date a few men here and there. He ends up dating a man who actually has creepy dolls at his place. He ends up dating a man online who rejects him. He ends up putting up an ad in the paper, unfortunately being rejected by a man who could be his type. He ends up begging Carrie, Charlotte, Samantha and Miranda for a possible date to Carrie's fashion show. He then meets Anthony Marantino, who snubs him cause he's not good looking. Anthony, who is Charlotte's friend beforehand, just ignores him and Stanford just kinda moves on. Anthony helps Charlotte pick out a wedding dress for her big day. We quickly get Marantino's personality within the first few minutes he's on screen. He's Italian, loud, assertive, and stylish, and no, I'm not just saying that cause of his profession. Charlotte loves the hell out of him cause he can pick up on her body language when she doesn't love something. He definitely pops up again the SATC storyline, and thankfully isn't a one-off character. Now, after having ignored Anthony cause of his dismissive rude comments, Stanford ends up finding a model man named Marcus who is so sweet. They like each other. They end up dating for a while to the cheering on from the ladies, but then soon comes trouble. For some reason, maybe it was because of how he got snubbed before, Stanford just kinda wanted rub it in Anthony's face that he's dating a model. I'm still unsure if he wanted to make him envious of his boyfriend, or jealous he got a hot boyfriend, probably both. He sees Anthony and Charlotte walk into cafeteria, the restaurant, and says to Marcus they should say hello. Marcus asks him why trying to clock his tea, and Stan just answers him because he's in a tank top. While I might understand Stanford's point in doing this, I don't really think that's fair to his boyfriend who just wants to chill out. They go over to say hello even though it's pointless. Then Anthony, being catty, says a rude comment. Marcus kinda smiles at the joke but is kinda looking at Stan with the "what the hell did you bring me into" face. Charlotte reads the room asking Stan prom. Stan goes on about how it's a fundraiser prom for LBTC. You can just tell Stan was slightly hurt by Anthony's comment, queer and queerer. Charlotte tried to get Anthony to chill out cause that's rude as hell, but then again what Stan is subjecting Anthony to by showing off his boyfriend Marcus is rude too. Stanford tries to mention how he didn't go to prom when he was a teenager, but Anthony isn't letting him have it. Like, damn, I know it was bad, but Anthony, give Stanford some breathing room. Let him have a win. I felt bad for Charlotte and Marcus in this situation. No one wants to be caught in the middle of a dogfight. These to leave after that, Marcus tells them bye. Then Stanford admits to Carrie that it was the truth that Marcus used to be an escort. Marcus was doing that sort of profession to make ends meet for his dance lessons. Carrie says that may be why Marcus didn't tell Stanley cause he was embarrassed. He mentions he can deal with the escorting people around to their destinations, but he can't deal with the secret part. He says he doesn't want to hear it from everyone else but Marcus himself. Really, the truth originally came from Anthony. I know the storyline for these two is pretty much enemies to lovers, which can be really good if done right, but I feel like they didn't do it justice. There was no middle ground for these two, only superficiality. They're both gay. Stanford admits to Carrie he broke up with Marcus and asks her to the prom with him. Carrie kinda flounders around saying she has to visit her boyfriend who is in the asylum. Ma'am, your boyfriend can wait. Anyway, she ends up at the prom and she and Stanford get to be prom queen and prom king. Stan makes a small joke about her BF. She tells him no more jokes. Carrie, you were gonna ignore your friend's issue and not support him through a breakup, come on. Then these to make up, and I'm like, rooting for these two. While it isn't exactly healthy relationship, it was a lot better than Stan's couple of relationships in the show. Then comes along this god-awful SATC movie that has Stan and Anthony kiss each other on New Year Eve, fine cause they're single, whatever, but then they marry. Anyway, Carrie walks in their wedding, having been invited cause she's Stan's best man. I mean, they were about to have a lavender wedding. She sees him in his tux and coos over him as she should. Men deserve to be told they look good too. They hug it out. She mentions the swans and I'm like, lady, let him have his damn swans. He tries to say he doesn't know what came over him. He mentioned how he has been saving his money for his wedding day since he was 19 and said it could have been a patient Jewish girl, but honestly, I would have loved if it was a wedding between him and Marcus. To make matters worse is that they have these to marry and let Marcus cheat willy-nilly on Stanford. How low does his self-esteem have to go? The only thing I can say is that the wedding venue is effing gorgeous. Then Liza Minnelli appears at the wedding to officiate it, which is hella impressive. These two divas will never live it down that they had Liza Minnelli officiate their wedding. Regarding the venue, of course let Stan have the damn swans. I thought it was sorta meh that Miranda makes a dumb joke about Liza Minnelli. I kinda thought it was bitterness at how her own wedding wasn't it for her and Steve. Cause we all know how Miranda punctuated her wedding venue by saying something about trash beforehand, but I digress. Stanford has his parents walk him down the aisle, he hugs his parents, and then this marriage proceeds. Leaving me to wonder, where the hell is Marcus?